Good morning, students. As you can see, we are going to start a new topic today, which is linear momentum. So, what is momentum? Momentum is defined as the product of mass and velocity. That is, if a body has both mass and velocity in it, then we can say that a body has also momentum in it. So, momentum can be defined as product of mass and velocity, and it is denoted by small p. So mathematically we can write p, which is momentum, is equal to m into velocity, mass into velocity. So in order to have a momentum in a body, it is necessary that the body should have mass and body should be in motion, that is, body should be having some velocity in it. And more the velocity of a body, more will be the momentum. So we can change the momentum by changing the velocity of a body. We can also bring about change in momentum by changing the mass of a body, but it is not possible practically. So we say that we can bring about change in momentum by changing the velocity of a body. Now let's see what happens if the body is at rest where the velocity is 0. So in this case, when the velocity is 0, we can see momentum of a body will also be 0. There will be no momentum in a body. Now coming to SI unit of momentum. SI unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second, kg meter per second, and it is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. So we have this much about the momentum. Now as I said, we can bring about change in momentum of a body by changing either the mass or velocity in a body. So let us see what expression we will be getting for the change in momentum of a body. So let us suppose the body is moving with initial velocity u, and its velocity has changed and has got a final velocity v. So change in momentum, which we also write p, delta p, is equal to mass into change in velocity, which is v minus u. Here v minus u is the change in velocity of a body. So change in momentum will be equal to mass into change in velocity of a body. Now, since we know that in order to bring about change in velocity of a body, some time is also required. So when you divide this, divide by time on both sides, then we can say rate of change of momentum. So this term is now called rate of change of momentum, which is equal to m into v minus u by t. So this is rate of change of momentum or change in momentum per unit time, which is m into change in velocity divided by time. Now if you write the unit of rate of change of momentum, then please see, it is not kg meter per second, but it is kg This change in velocity will have meter per second, and this time also has got the unit second. So finally we get kg meter per second square as the unit of rate of change of momentum. So this expression is the rate of change of momentum. Let us see some more thing about it. Since rate of change of momentum, that is delta p upon t, is equal to mv minus u by t. Now in place of mv minus u, in place of v minus u by t, we can also write a, that is mass into acceleration. Since we have already studied in equation of motion, a is equal to v minus u divided by t. So we got rate of change of momentum is equal to mass into acceleration, and mass into acceleration is also equal to force, because force when we apply on a body of mass m, it will produce an acceleration in it. So in order to find out the magnitude of the force applied, we have to take mass and acceleration. That means mass and acceleration can be written as the force applied. So finally we can write rate of change of momentum is equal to force. And this is the expression for Newton's second law of motion, which can be stated as follows, that rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force applied, and the change in momentum takes place in the direction of the force applied. So this is Newton's second law of motion. This is Newton's second law of motion, which is also called law of momentum. This is called law of momentum. So it is clear, this statement. Let me give you the statement once again. According to Newton's second law of motion, rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force applied, and the change in momentum takes place in the direction of the applied force. And this is also called law of momentum. Now we have certain examples from our daily activities where Newton's second law of motion plays a very important role. Now if you see this expression, then you can come to know that we can bring about change in momentum of a body by applying force for a very short duration, by applying large force for a very short duration, or we can also bring about change in momentum of a body by applying a small amount of force for a longer period of time. So this relation is very important, and we can also write one more expression from this to get the value of change in momentum, which is equal to force into time. So you can see we have got change in momentum, which is equal to force into time. So this we have from the Newton's second law of motion. And as I said, we have some activities also based on Newton's second law of motion. For example, when we catch a ball, then we need to withdraw our hands in the backward direction. So in order to stop the ball, we never take the hands onto the ball to stop it. Instead, we have to withdraw the ball not withdraw the ball, we have to withdraw our hands in the backward direction so that we can feel less force due to the ball and we will not get hurt. So we'll discuss about this more in the next class. Thank you.